What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Seven Aligned Podcast with me, your host, Jillian Holland. Very excited to be back here. Another Thursday, another episode. You know what's up. Today, I'm very excited to talk about a topic that I love and have found a new passion for, which is tarot cards. Let's talk about tarot, or tarot. There's two, you'll hear it said different ways, but it's tarot, same thing. So what are tarot cards, first of all? Well, they've been gaining popularity. You might get them all over your TikTok For You page, or maybe you know a couple people who do them as well. Well, tarot cards date back to the 1700s. Well, they were made in Italy, but gained popularity when used for divination in France. The cards themselves, well, there's 78 of them in a deck. There's 22 major arcadia, and then the rest, the 56 other ones, are split up into 4 suits. The 4 suits are the pentacles, the swords, the wands, and the cups. The pentacles are connected to earth signs. They also relate to work and money. The swords are connected to air signs, and they are related to intellect and thoughts. The wands are related to fire signs, and they connect with passions and creativity. And the cups are connected to water signs, and they relate to emotions. Once you start recognizing the cards and becoming more literate when it comes to reading them, then you'll gain a greater understanding and a deeper connection with each one and what it actually means when pulled in the reading that you're pulling for. So if you're interested in starting tarot, your next question is probably, well, how do I choose a deck? There's a couple ways to choose a deck. You either can receive a deck as a gift, which is very common, but also let's say you haven't received one yet and you want to buy one. Well, they say that the easiest to learn from is the Rider-Waite illustrated deck. It was illustrated in 1910 by Pamela Coleman Smith. And it's probably the most basic illustrations of the cards that you see. When you think of the artwork for the Ten of Pentacles, you probably think of the artwork made in the Rider-Waite deck. Why is that the easiest to read? Well, it's very fluid, and it's very easy to connect the meanings of the card with the illustrations. And I mean that you are able to really see in the pictures what the card relates to, which makes it really easy to read in the beginning. Personally, I read the Rider-Waite deck. I have another deck too, but I personally don't necessarily like my second deck that I've gotten, my Warrior Goddess deck, because I like the classic feeling that the Rider-Waite deck gives me, and I also think that the illustrations connect better to the meanings of the cards than the Warrior one. The Goddess is one. Once you learn what each of the individual cards means, however, then you'll have the talent of reading tarot. That's pretty much what tarot is. Being able to memorize and then connect what every single card means, and then being able to connect with your deck to pull those messages in clearly. Once you have an understanding of what each of the individual cards means, then you'll be able to read any deck of tarot ever made. And the reason why it's kind of difficult to start reading with tarot decks that aren't Rider-Waite or like just classic is because some of the illustrations in these decks are very abstract or obscure. You can have some decks that just like will have literally like a color or a galaxy or something. You can also have decks that are like The Office themed or Game of Thrones themed, you know? And you're not really gonna get the deeper understanding of what your reading means if all of your cards have like Jim and Pat and Michael from The Office on them. While that might be cool and you might like that and you might get called to like buy that at some point, you might not want to start reading with those because it might be a little confusing. Now, the cool thing about tarot is I don't want anyone to feel that they can't read tarot because my personal story is I bought my first deck of tarot cards in 2017 off of Amazon. They were probably like $16 because I'm cheap and poor, and I couldn't read them up until this February of 2021 fluently, which is a long time that they just sat there, collecting dust. And I said that I didn't understand them. How I learned was a lot of my friends were reading them, and I was like, I want to read tarot. I want to read tarot cards. Like, I really do want to learn how to read tarot cards. So I started asking them how they learned, and I started studying. I started pulling 3 cards every morning for my day, and that was the easiest way to do it. I'd pull 3 cards, I'd ask how my day was going to go, and then I'd write them down, and I'd study up on what those meanings meant. Then I also was given the advice to start watching YouTube videos about tarot readings. Every time they come up on my suggestions, I'll watch them because you gain a familiarity with the cards by watching other people pull cards for you. The next tip that I can give you if you really want to learn is literally just seek out the information. Start taking notes about your readings, because when you do a reading and you internalize it and you read it and then you shuffle it back into the deck, sure, you get the message, but are you really holding on to it? Are you really memorizing it? Are you really engaging with your cards? If you really want to learn, you'll take the time to study. And I guess the next question is, how do you read tarot cards? Well, I'm going to tell you. First of all, every tarot reader is a little bit different. They're going to pull their own way. So the way you pull is not right, not wrong, but there are a couple common ways to do so. So the first and easiest way, I would say, if you're just learning, is to do a 3-card pull. Shuffle your deck, tell them your question, maybe meditate with it in your hands a little bit and say, today I want a love life reading. Is my relationship working out? And you'll think about it, and then you'll start shuffling. And let's say you're doing a 3-card. Think that you're going to do a 3-card pull. When you feel like your shuffling is done, then pull 3 cards out of it. You can pull 3 cards out of it by laying them on the table and picking 3 out, or by picking 3 off the top, or by picking 2 off the top and 1 off the bottom, or by picking 1 off the top and splitting it in half and picking that one and then picking 1 off the bottom. You can literally do whatever you want, because those are the cards you're meant to pull. And you lay them out there, and you do a reading, and you say, okay, I got the 2 of Wands, I got the 3 of Swords, and I got the Tower. And you're like, okay, maybe something's going on here, because I have a card about breaking hearts and my heart being hurt and me being betrayed, and the Tower card, which is destruction, and it's unstable, and I can't remember what the 2 of Wands is. If you get those in a love reading, maybe you should reevaluate your situation. That's the easiest way, a 3-card pull. You're limited with the amount of cards. If you need more clarification because you don't understand something, say, I want clarification, and then you shuffle again, and you pull more cards out. The way I do it, normally, unless I think that it calls for something else, is I will ask the question, is this job right for me? And I will shuffle my cards, and I will just let the cards fall out as they may. So if 5 cards fall out or 10 cards fall out, I will read them as a story. And what I mean is each card, the last card connects to the next one, and the next one connects to the next one. And when you're laying out, you might realize that you put 5 or 6 cards in the first line, and then 2 cards in the second, and then 1 card in the last. And it might be levels, you might say, this is where I am now, this is what my spirit guides are telling me I need to do, and then this is the conclusion that I get. Once you start reading the cards and understanding the cards, you gain that fluidity. It's like learning a language, almost learning how to read. And the trick about tarot is literally, if you think your reading was right, if you believe your reading was spot on, then it probably was. But if you think your reading was incorrect, or the cards you pulled didn't really make sense, well, the message might have been channeled wrong. You can put them back in and discard that message. You can cleanse your deck with smoke or selenite and pull again. Or you can say, Spirit guides, can you please clarify this? I just do not understand what you're trying to tell me. And by doing that, you learn. And you also get this power of divination and this understanding of what's coming and what the universe wants you to know. So why is tarot so cool? Why do I love reading tarot cards? Well, one, it allows me to connect with my spirit guides a little bit more. I can get channeled messages from them that I understand. It gives me guidance. It will never give you a yes/no answer because that's not how it works, but it can give you guidance on whether a situation is right or wrong and what your blockages are when it comes to it. And also, it's really fun to help other people. There are a lot of people who can't read tarot that want to, and by being able to read for them, then they get an understanding as well, and then they get answers, which means you're just helping people out. All right, I hope you enjoyed this 101 on how to read tarot cards. I hope it was insightful and inspired you to go and pick up a cool Rider-Waite tarot deck and then start teaching yourself what they mean and how to read, because it's a really cool skill. It's a nice party trick. You can also make some cash. I'm not saying that you should charge to read tarot. I don't really charge to read tarot, but let's say you're at a party with a lot of spiritual heads and hey, you brought your deck, $5 a reading, you'll be walking home with some money. All right, this was 7 Align Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please check out my socials and my Patreon. I have tarot card readings on there for all zodiac signs. Love and peace to all, and prosperity. Bye, folks. See you next Thursday.